Good morning everybody and welcome to this online session. This is a post that you can use whenever you want to. Hopefully in the very near future I'll be able to stream my classes as I was doing on a Sunday, Tuesday and Wednesday evening, but in the meantime use this video. Maybe I'll do another one or two a week until I can get the streaming process up and running. Okay, so we're going to begin. So let's sit cross-legged on our mat, pressing down into the sit bones, lengthening up through the spine, chin tucked in, shoulders pressed away from the ears, closing the eyes and detaching ourselves from the outside world. So taking a few moments to really calm the breath down and to calm that busy mind. Very difficult to stop the thoughts completely, but try and slow the thought process down. Slowly allowing any thoughts to dissolve away. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. Bringing those hands into prayer and setting your intention for this morning's practice. This can be a physical intention, such as concentrating on your foundation or bringing the breath to your movement. It could be a more spiritual intention, such as thinking or praying for somebody or something at this point in time. Gently open the eyes and we'll begin our warm-up. So inhale those fingertips up to the ceiling. Stretch, 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 stretch. Try and keep the alignment in the spine and shoulders. Exhale, hands come down in front of you for a first gentle forward bend. Stretching through the lower back. Continue to press down through the sit bones. Breathing into the back of the rib cage. And breathe. Head and neck is nice and relaxed. Extend into this posture if you wish to. Inhale back to centre, fingertips back up to the ceiling. Stretch, 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 stretch. Let's do a side stretch over to the right hand side. So right hand down and gently, gently leaning over to the right, but try not to put too much weight into this right side. It's the torso that's doing all the work. Keep pressing down into that left sit bone and try and draw that left shoulder back, shining that heart centre forward. Again, breathe. Inhale back to centre. Stretch, 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 stretch. Exhale, let's go to the other side. So left hand down, lightly supporting us and pressing over to the left hand side. Drawing that right shoulder back, pressing down into that right sit bone. See if you can draw the belly button back as well. Inhale back to centre. Let's come into our spinal twist. So on the exhale, our left hand drops onto the right knee. Our right hand swings behind us. And as we gently rotate the torso to the right, we're lifting up through the spine and pressing down into the sit bones. If your neck is feeling very happy and healthy, you can look over your right shoulder, but you don't have to do this. Try not to lean or collapse into the backhand. Try and draw up through the abdomen and lengthen through the spine and breathe. Inhale, let's draw those fingertips back up to the ceiling. Stretch, 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 stretch. Exhale, let's do the other side. So right hand onto the left knee, left hand behind us. Gentle press into that left and to the right palm as we increase that rotation. Draw up through the spine and gently tilt our gaze around that left shoulder if our neck is healthy and happy. And breathe. And gently release. We're going to do another forward bend, but we're going to change the crossover of the legs. So giving the other leg a little bit of a stretch. Inhale those fingertips back up to the ceiling. Nice long stretch. Exhale. Let's lean forward. Hands dropping down in front of us to support us, and then maybe a little walk with the hands to stretch the lower spine. Relax the head and the neck. Keep breathing into the back of the rib cage. Keep pressing down into the sit bones. And if you can, engage in the bandhas. So pulling up through the pelvic floor and sucking that belly button back to the spine. And slowly release. From here we're going to go onto all fours and we're going to begin our cat-cow sequence. So gently come onto your knees and your hands. Hands should be shoulder width apart, spreading the fingers out, pressing down to the pads of the thumbs and into the palms. Knees are hip width apart and our hips are stacked over our knees. And we're just at tops of our feet are lightly pressing on the mat. Starting off in a neutral position, nice long neck and spine. And on the inhale, we're gently going to drop our belly down to the mat as our head and gaze lifts. On the exhale, we're going to press down into the hands and knees, drawing up through the spine, making a nice dome with the spine. Dropping the head, dropping the gaze, looking through the legs. Inhale, drop the belly, raise the head. Exhale, arch the back, drop the head and maybe suck the belly button back to the spine as well. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. And from here, we're going to roll over. We're going to roll the toes over, sit back on the heels, and let's go fire up the nadis in the soles of the feet. And just as a little bit of distraction, we'll just make some circles with the head and neck, warming up the small bones in the neck. Going in one direction to begin with. And then the other. Come back to centre. Quite powerful that posture. And then we're going to come into melting heart. So taking our weight forward, stretching through the spine, taking the hands forward, bottom in the air, and coming into puppy dog or melting heart. So our forehead gently pressing onto the mat, our arms and hands stretching out in front of us, creating a beautiful stretch underneath the armpits and the back of the shoulders. Keep breathing down into the lower abdomen. And from here, we're going to come into our first downward dog. We're going to make it a very gentle downward dog. So slowly, for those of you who are very used to coming into downward dog, please do so and bring the breath into your posture. For those of you who are new to downward dog and would like to be taught through it step by step, come back onto your all fours posture, turn your back, turn your toes under, and slowly lift the knees off the ground 1 or 2 inches. Again, hands are shoulder width apart and we're stacking our shoulders above our wrist to begin with. And then slowly, slowly take your bottom back towards your heels and then slowly press your bottom up towards the ceiling into your first gentle downward dog. Allow your head and neck to relax. Maybe take your gaze up to your thighs or up to your belly button and breathe. I said it was going to be gentle, so we'll leave the downward dog there for the time being. Bend the knees, look forward and gently walk to the top of the mat. Coming into a very gentle forward bend and slowly rising up to begin our sun salutations. So big toes touching, gap between the heels, pressing down into the 4 corners of the feet, pulling up through the kneecaps, engaging our bandhas, so pulling up through the pelvic floor, tilting that tailbone under, lengthening up through the spine. Nice broad shoulders, hands engaged out to the side. Also tucking the chin in and engaging another bandha called Jala Bandha. Feel very grounded, feel tall, feel strong. And we'll begin. So inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, fingertips up to the ceiling, standing stretch. Exhale, we'll go very slowly to begin with. Gently coming into Uttanasana, forward bend. Keep pressing down through the 4 corners of the feet. Pulling up through the kneecaps. Engaging the bandhas. relaxing the head and neck. Inhale, half forward bend. Press down through the feet, bend the knees, come up onto the fingertips, nice long spine. See if you can draw the shoulder blades down to the lower back. Exhale, hands down, feet back into plank, bottom down, elbows in, as we continue the exhale down into low plank. Inhale, baby cobra. If you have back problems, just widen your feet and then draw the shoulders and chest off the ground and inhale. Exhale, downward dog. Press down into the hands, draw the bottom in the air, downward dog. Bend the knees, walk to the top of the mat, back into half forward bend. Exhale, full forward bend. Press down, lift up into standing stretch. Exhale, Tadasana. And we'll do that again. Inhale. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, half forward bend. Exhale, hands down, feet back into plank, bottom down, elbows in. Continue the exhale down into chaturanga or low plank. Inhale, baby cobra, press down into the pelvis, draw the shoulders back. Exhale, downward dog. Press down into your foundation. Draw up through the kneecaps. Pressing that chest up towards the thighs, nice long spine. Bend the knees, walk or jump to the top of the mat, half forward bend. Exhale, full forward bend. Press down through the feet, stretch up to the ceiling, standing stretch. Exhale, Tadasana. We'll do that again. Inhale. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, half forward bend. Exhale, hands down, feet back. Continue down into chaturanga. Inhale, baby cobra, or if you want to, you can extend up into upward dog. Shoulders above the wrists, dropping down into the pelvis, knees off the ground. Exhale, downward dog, tucking the toes under. Press the bottom up towards the ceiling, stretching through the back of the shoulders. Bend the knees, top of the mat, half forward bend. Exhale, full forward bend. Press down, lift up, standing stretch. Exhale, Tadasana. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, half forward bend. Exhale, hands down, feet back into plank. Continue down into low plank. Scoop up into upward dog or baby cobra. Bottom in the air, downward dog. Take a resting breath. Bend the knees, top of the mat, half forward bend. Exhale, full forward bend. Press down through the feet, standing stretch. Exhale, mountain pose. Bring the hands to the heart in prayer. Just get your breath back. Just do a body scan. See how your body's feeling. And if there's any areas that need a little bit of extra care during our next sequence. So we're still on our sun salutations, but we're going to make them a bit more dynamic and vary some of our moves. So coming to the top of the mat, pressing down through our foundation. We're going to inhale, fingertips up to the ceiling, nice long standing stretch, and this time we're just going to tilt over to the right to begin with. So keep pressing down through the feet, a very subtle tilt over to the right. Inhale back to centre. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, half forward bend. Exhale, right foot back, coming into crescent lunge. So right knee down, our weight forward, and we're really sinking into that lunge. Interlace the thumbs, draw the elbows back. Exhale, hands down to the mat, back toes under, left foot back into plank, bottom down, elbows in. Continue to exhale down into chaturanga. Inhale, baby cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Take your weight into your left foot, raise the right foot, have a look at your right big toe. Exhale, bring that right foot forward, back into crescent lunge, dropping the left knee this time. Interlacing the thumbs. Inhale, draw the elbows back. So we're really trying to press the upper arms next to the ears and create some space across the thumbs, drawing the wrists apart from one another. Exhale, drop the hands, turn the back toes under and just lever our weight forward, back into half forward bend. Again, really creating some length down the spine, trying to roll those shoulder blades down to the lower back. Exhale, release into full forward bend. Inhale, press down, lift up, standing stretch, and finish with another tilt to the right. Hands come into prayer. Take a breath. Inhale. Let's do the same on the other side. Exhale. Stretch to the left. Inhale. Back to centre. Exhale. Full forward bend. Inhale. Half forward bend. Bend the knees if you need to create that length in the spine. Exhale, hands down, feet back, left foot back into crescent lunge. Weight forward, really releasing down into that lunge. Interlace the thumbs, draw the elbows back. Rather than doing a back bend here, just try and lift up through the torso. Keep pressing down into that front foot. Engage your bandhas, sucking the belly button back to the spine and pulling up through the pelvic floor. Drop the hands, turn the back toes under, come into plank. Exhale, down into chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Take a moment here to bring breath to your downward dog. Press down into your right foot, lift your left foot up, look at your left big toe. Exhale, bring that left foot forward, dropping the right knee down this time. Interlace the thumbs, draw the elbows back. Drop the hands, turn the back toes under and gently lever forward into half forward bend. Exhale into full forward bend. Press down, lift up. Exhale. Let's just tilt over to the left again. And back to centre. Hands come into prayer. And take a few breaths. Inhale, tilt to the right, back to centre, exhale, forward bend, inhale, half forward bend, exhale, right foot back, down into crescent lunge, interlace the thumbs, draw the elbows back, and breathe. Hands come down, left foot goes back into plank. Continue the exhale down into low plank. Inhale, upward dog. Bottom in the air, downward dog. Weight into the left foot, raise the right foot, have a look at your right big toe, try and keep that pelvis square with the mat. Exhale, right foot forward, back into crescent lunge, dropping that left knee, interlacing the thumbs, draw the elbows back. Drop the hands, turn the back toes under, and gently leave yourself forward into half forward bend. Exhale, full forward bend. Press down, lift up. Exhale, tilt to the right. Inhale, back to centre. Hands come back to prayer. Inhale. Nice long stretch. Exhale, tilt to the left. Inhale, back to centre. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, half forward bend. Exhale, left foot back, downward crescent lunge. Interlace the thumbs, draw the elbows back, and breathe. Drop the hands, turn the back toes under, take the right foot back into plank, elbows in, bottoms down. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Right foot press down into the right foot, lift the left foot up, have a look at the left big toe, square the pelvis off with the top with the mat. Exhale, left foot forward, dropping that right knee, interlace the thumbs, elbows back. Drop the hands, turn the back toes under, gently leave yourself to the top of the mat. Half forward bend. Release down into full forward bend. Press down through the feet. Come up into standing stretch. Exhale, tilt to the left. Inhale, back to centre. Hands come back into prayer. Take a few moments. So before we come into our next dynamic sequence, we're going to come into a forward bend. So some of you will be really flexible and will choose to have your feet together. For those of you who maybe not so flexible in the lower back, let's just open our feet to hip width. So we're pressing down through our foundation, allowing that energy to draw up, pulling up through the kneecaps, tilting the pelvis, drawing up through the bandhas and drawing Uddiyana Bandha back to the spine. So pressing down, hands on hips to begin with. And we're going to come into our forward bend, but first of all we're going to inhale, lengthen up through the spine. And exhale, it's the slow transition into forward bend. So engaging our bandhas, really feeling that foundation. Exhale, and as we go into our forward bend, try and allow your chin and chest to lead the way. And once you're in your full expression of this posture, just allow the hands to drop down to the floor. If you want to, you can take the first two fingers and wrap them around your big toes. And that gives you a little bit of a leverage to pull down and lengthen through the spine. Try and make your weight nice and even through the four corners of your feet. Just be very mindful of where your weight is, if it's too far forward or too far back, and try and adjust accordingly. Just relax the head and neck. breathe. If you feel this is enough, then please come back up. Anybody with any blood pressure problems or heart problems, then you don't have to come into a full forward bend. You can use a chair or a cupboard or a shelf, and you can sort of lean on somewhere and lengthen through the spine and get just as much out of that bend rather than lowering the head down beneath the heart. So be kind to yourself and be very mindful of what your body needs at this point in time. So those of you in full forward bend, slowly press down into your foundation and roll up back into standing. And from here, we're going to come into another dynamic sequence. So come to the top of the mat. We're going to start off with a balance, so Vrikasana. So this is tree posture. So I'm going to be turning from side to side, but for most of you, or for all of you, you'll be starting at the top of your mat, and we're going to start our posture with our left leg supporting and lifting the right leg. I'm going to face you now so that I can show you in more detail. So pressing down through your foundation, lifting up through the kneecaps, tilting the spine, just making sure your body is prepared for your posture. And also engaging your drishti, which means focusing your gaze at a point in front of you, either a body length away from you or approximately 6 feet away from you. And trying to focus on that point. I'm very lucky because I've got knots in wood flooring, so I can focus on a knot in the wood, and trying to create a haze in the periphery of your vision so that you're bringing your focus completely onto your posture. Hands start engaged to the side, and then slowly, slowly, slowly press down into that left foot and bring that right foot either to the outside of the calf or to the inside of the calf or inside of the thigh. Try not to put pressure onto that knee joint, and draw yourself up through your posture. Try not to allow that left hip to press too far to the outside. Draw it back up. Some of you will want to extend through this posture. You can take hold of your big toe and extend. And then all of us can bring that right foot forward. Try and lift that right foot in front of us. And then we're going to take that left foot back and come into warrior one. So lifting the fingertips up to the ceiling, pressing down into that back heel. Left knee is above that left ankle, and we're sinking down into warrior one. Exhale, drop the hands behind us. We're going to prepare for humble warrior. So interlacing the fingers behind us, pressing the knuckles down to that back heel, drawing the shoulders back and shining that heart centre forward. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, very slowly come forward into humble warrior. So allowing the chest to bow down, and if you can, lifting the wrists up towards the ceiling. If that is too much, just take hold of your left wrist with your right hand and just try and stretch through the elbows and the arms. And breathe. And release. From here we're going to come up. First of all, we're going to adjust the feet, because we're going to adjust the feet so that we come up into warrior two, so that our heels are on the same line. Our left foot is facing forward and that right foot is turned in about 40 degrees. Press down through our foundation, spiral the hands into warrior two. Try and draw this left knee back, and there's some outward rotation into that right thigh. See if you can sink down nicely into warrior two. Hands extending away from the shoulders, looking down at the middle finger on the left hand. Inhale. As we inhale, we're going to turn that left palm up and raise that left hand up to the ceiling as that right hand gently rests on the back of the right thigh. See if you can feel that lovely diagonal stretch, and breathe. Exhale back to centre. We're going to do something very similar now, but we're going to come into Gokhamasana hands. So that left hand raises up, the right hand goes behind the back, and if you can, we're going to take a bind with the fingers, so that our fingers, that posture looks like that. Sitting into warrior two and breathing and enjoying that beautiful stretch down the left side of the body and maybe across the top of the chest and obviously that right arm. If that is too much, don't come into the bind, just press down with the right palm onto the left elbow. Just drawing the shoulder blades back and shining that chest forward. And breathe. And then slowly disengage, come back into warrior two. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, bend that left elbow onto the left knee. Inhale, those right fingers up to the ceiling, and then exhale, press them to the front of the room so that they're pressing over the head. And breathe. Utthita Parsvakonasana, extended side angle posture. Some of you may want to modify this posture and come into a bind. So really sinking down into your foundation, taking the right hand behind the back, looking for your left fingers and coming into a bind. Keep drawing, don't lose that nice heart centre forward. Try and draw that right shoulder back. And from here, we're going to come into lizard. So both hands come to the inside of that left foot wriggles to the outside of the mat. Sinking that right knee down onto the mat, coming into high lizard. And breathing, enjoying that stretch around the pelvic area and in the top of the thighs. For some of you, you may want to use a block or a bolster and come down a bit lower. And I know some of you will want to come down a bit lower still onto the mat to extend into the posture. Just relax the head and the neck. Top of the foot is flat on the mat in your back leg. Just really relax that back leg. And from here, come back up into high lizard. And we're either going to come into plank and hold it, or you can come into low plank and hold it. Some of you will choose to come into supported plank, whether it be low or high, and pop your knees down to help support you. And that's beautiful. It brings a really nice control to the posture. Remember, we're trying to lose our ego here, not use it. This is not, yoga is not a competition. So do the level of posture that is right for you. Keep safe and try and keep the breath controlled. So slowly, for those of you who are going to come into, let's start off with a supported plank. So supported plank, pop your knees down, and we're either going to stay in high plank, in plank with our knees down. Make sure that our shoulders are above our wrists, and bring the breath to your posture, nice and strong. For those that's too much, you may wish to come down onto the elbows and do it that way. For those of you who feel that you'd like to try a normal plank and bring the breath to it, try and keep your bottom down, try and keep the shoulders above the wrists. And then there'll be a few of you who would like to have a go at side plank. So rolling on to the side of the left foot, try and keep that left shoulder above the left wrist and extending. Keep breathing. Slowly, with control, come back into plank and then slowly down onto the mat. Have a little bit of a rest. So let's stretch the arms out in front of us. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Forehead down on the mat. And we're really stretching from the fingertips down to the toes. And then we're going to inhale. As we inhale, we lift our forehead head off the ground, lifting that right arm and left leg. And really breathing into that beautiful diagonal stretch. Let's take 3 breaths. And gently release. Slowly, 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 popping the hands underneath the shoulders. Let's take our bottoms back. Coming into child's pose, just releasing any tension in the lower back. And then slowly coming up onto the knees in preparation for Parivrtta Parsvakonasana, our rotated side angle posture. So drawing that right foot up, so pressing down into that right foot and the left knee. Hands come into Anjali Mudra, into prayer, knuckles of the thumbs pressing into the sternum. Inhale, lengthen up through the spine. Exhale, we're gently going to rotate our left elbow onto the right knee, just above the right knee actually. Sinking down, bringing the fingertips forward, stacking the right elbow above the left elbow, and then pressing down into that left elbow and rotating, almost as if you were trying to get the knuckles of the thumbs back to where they started in the sternum. For those of you who would want to press down and to modify, you can turn your back toes under and slowly lift that left knee off the ground. Whoop. Excuse me. And breathe. Keep breathing. That's me not engaging the bandhas. Engage your bandhas. Lift up through the pelvic floor. Set the belly button back to the spine and bring the breath to your posture. And slowly release. Slowly release. Really rooting the back foot down and coming into our pyramid posture. So both the legs fairly straight. Some gentle softness around the knee area, so try not to lock the knees. And our body is draping down that right leg to begin with. Almost as if our torso is a piece of silk. So our hips are facing the front of the mat. There's probably about 3 inches between my thighs in order for me to square my pelvis with the top of the mat. And breathe. And from here, we're going to prepare for standing splits. So just bringing that left foot forward a little bit more and creating a triangle with both hands and your right foot, like an equilateral triangle. And on the inhale, we're going to press down into that right foot and raise that left foot in the air. On the exhale, we're going to bend both knees and come into a funny side crouch. Inhale, stretch and lift. Exhale, side crouch. Inhale, stretch and lift. Exhale, side crouch. So that left knee is to the right side of the right knee. Inhale, lift and stretch. Exhale, crouch. Inhale, lift. Exhale, crouch. One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, crouch. And then bring that left foot down next to the right foot. Back into your forward bend. Let's just come into chair posture or Uttanasana. So sinking down, bending the knees, raising the torso, stretching the fingertips up to the ceiling, and releasing. Release, hands come into prayer. Take a few moments before we do it all the same on the other side. So we're going to start with our balance. So this time we're going to take our weight onto the right foot, lifting the left foot. But before we do that, let's press down through our foundation. Let's prepare the body, lifting up through the kneecaps, tilting the pelvis, nice long spine, and engaging the drishti. Press down into that right foot, softness around the knee, drawing the left foot into Vrikasana. Hands can be down by your side in prayer, up in tree, your choice. Modify if you wish to. Take care. release. Let's draw that left foot in front of us. Nice strong foundation, nice strong abdominal muscles. Engaging the bandhas. And then drawing that left foot back, this time coming up into warrior one. Drawing the fingertips up to the ceiling. Sinking down into the posture. Right knee above the right ankle. Pressing down into that left foot, especially the outside edge of that left foot. Dropping the hands, preparing for humble warrior. Interlacing the fingers, drawing the shoulders back, shining the heart centre forward. Exhale, humble warrior. And release. Just adjust your feet in preparation to come up into warrior two. So both heels are in line with one another. Right foot facing forward, left foot turned in 40 degrees. Right knee above the right ankle and slowly lift up. Spiral the arms into warrior two. Extending the fingers away from the shoulders. Inhale, right palm faces the ceiling. Inhale, reverse warrior. Exhale, come back to centre. So this time coming into Gokhamasana, arms. Inhale, stretch, bind. For those of you who are not binding, just gentle pressure onto the right elbow with the left palm. And slowly, slowly release. Back into warrior two. Exhale, right elbow onto right knee. Inhale, left arm over the head towards the front of the mat. And modify if you want to. So sinking down a bit lower, taking a bind. And then gently dropping both hands to the inside of that right foot. Taking the right foot out to the outside of the mat. Hands come to the inside of that right foot. Coming into high or low lizard. And relaxing the head and the neck. And breathing. Slowly, slowly release and prepare for your plank, your side plank or your supported plank posture. So when you're ready, taking that right foot back and coming into your chosen posture. Bring the breath to your posture. Engage your bandhas and press down into your foundation, feeling your connection with the earth and every living thing on it. With grace, come back plank and down slowly onto your mat. Stretch the arms in front of you. This time it's left arm, right leg. Inhale, lift, stretch and breathe. And release. Take your bottom back. We'll come straight into Parivrtta. So drawing that left knee up this time and that left foot forward. Hands come into Anjali Mudra. Thumbs pressing into the sternum. Dropping the shoulders down away from the ears. Gap between the thighs so that when you rotate you maintain your balance. Inhale. Exhale, rotate. Allow the right elbow to engage onto the left knee, fingertips forward, stacking the left elbow above the right one. As you press into the right elbow, rotate your chest. And if you wish to, you can roll the back toes under and slowly lift the back knee off the ground. Breathe. And gently release. Release, release, release. Root that back, heel down, come into pyramid posture. So both legs are fairly straight, softness around. Both knees, especially that front knee. Still that gap between the thighs so that the pelvis can square off with the top of the mat. Allowing your body to drape down that left leg as if it was a piece of silk. Really trying to lengthen through the spine. Rather than trying to press our nose to our knee, we should be trying to allow that lower abdomen to flatten against the top of the thigh. And breathe. Slowly, slowly, slowly prepare for our transition into standing splits. So bringing that back foot a little bit closer, creating a triangle with the two hands and the left foot. Pressing down into that left foot, raising the right foot, coming into standing splits, dropping the head. Exhale, lower and crouch. Inhale, stand and stretch. Exhale, crouch. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, crouch down. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, crouch down. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, crouch down. Inhale, stretch. Exhale, bring that right foot down next to the left foot. Come into a very gentle forward bend. And from here we'll come back into Uttanasana, chair posture. So pressing down through our foundation, bending the knees, dropping the bottom. Inhale, lifting the torso, stretching the fingertips up to the ceiling. And release. Release, release, release. So, not sure how much time we've spent doing that. I suspect a bit longer than anticipated. I'm going to look up at the church clock. Yeah, as usual, overrunning. So we'll come down and we'll do a couple of chair postures, as floor postures, mat postures. So feet hip width apart, coming into garland posture or malasana, I think it is. And slowly coming down into a graceful squat. Hands come into prayer, using the elbows to press the knees to the outside. Trying to draw up through the spine, pressing the sit bones down towards the mat. Draw the shoulders back, heart centre forward. And release, 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 release. Coming down onto the mat, coming into Janu, which is head to knee posture. So left leg in front of us to begin with, right foot draws to the inside of the left thigh. Really pressing down through the backs of that left leg and pressing down, so keeping that right leg active as well. So trying to press down into that right thigh. Inhaling the fingertips up to the ceiling, drawing up through the spine, nice strong posture. Exhale, gently, gently drawing the chest forward. Keep flexing those left toes, that left foot. And taking a couple of breaths, just slowly sink into this posture. Try and keep the shoulders square with the top of the mat. So try not to tilt the rib cage. Try and keep everything nice and square and relaxed. As well as pressing down into our foundation, down the backs of the knees and lifting up the kneecaps. We're also engaging the bandhas, so pulling up through the pelvic floor, drawing that belly button back to the spine and seeing what magic that adds to your posture. And then slowly, slowly releasing. We're going to do exactly the same on the other side. So right leg forward, left leg comes into the inner right thigh. Really press down through that right leg. Press that left thigh down as well. Flex the right toes. Inhale, lift up through the torso. Draw the shoulders back. Exhale. Gently, gently come into Janu. As well as pressing down through your foundation, draw up through the bandhas and breathe. Slowly, slowly come out of that posture. Let's come into our counter pose, Virkasana. So both hands behind the bottom, fingertips facing forward, and gently press down into the heels and press up through the pelvis. Please, please be very mindful of your neck and don't let it whip back. Take control of the neck muscles. And release. Release down. I'm going to have to get a tissue, excuse me. Our next posture is Paschimottanasana, so both feet forward. Again, very, very strong posture as we hold Dandasana. Inhaling those fingertips up to the ceiling. Exhale, forward bend. Try and lengthen through the spine. And then slowly, slowly allow the torso to drop deeper into the posture. Relaxing the head, relaxing the neck, engaging the bandhas, really drawing that chest down and that spine nice and long. slowly release, coming back into our counter pose. So hands behind the back, pressing down into the heels, up through the pelvis, taking control of the neck and head. And releasing, releasing. Coming into our next posture, which is Baddha Konasana, butterfly posture. So soles of the feet together, knees relaxing to the outside, palms of the hands wrapped around the feet, drawing those heels into the pelvis if you can, lengthening up through the spine, dropping the shoulders. Again, engaging the bandhas, pressing down into our foundation, pulling up through the perineum, drawing the belly button back to the spine. And then exhale. As we exhale, we slowly, slowly draw forward. Elbows come to the inside or the sides of the calves, pressing down so that our knees are gently pressing down to the mat and drawing the chest forward. Head and neck are relaxed. And breathe. So you can spend a bit more time doing these floor postures. Just because for the sake of time, I'm just going to make them a little bit more briefer, but slow the video down and just take your time with these floor postures, because they're really beautiful for opening up the pelvic joints, and they're really good for improving flexibility. Slowly, slowly, slowly relax out of this posture, and then we'll come into Upavista Konasana. So we're going to come into like a seated straddle. Again, very, very important to press down through our foundation, draw up through the spine. Inhale those fingertips up to the ceiling. Exhale, slowly, slowly. Come down into your posture. Take your time. This is definitely a posture that's a marathon, not a sprint. So it might take a few breaths to allow yourself to come into your full expression. On each inhale, keep lengthening through the spine. Again, this is not a posture where you want to try and get round the back and nose down to the floor. It's really a posture where you want to press down into your foundation. Keep lengthening through the spine. So that means drawing up through the kneecaps and pressing down through the back of the legs. If you've got a bolster, it's very useful to have the bolster in front of you, and I'll do that next time, so that you can lengthen the front of your body in a supportive way. Again, this is another posture. Take your time, slow down, stop the video and take a bit more time over this posture. Slowly, slowly, slowly release. Release, release, release. And we're going to come down into our floor posture, into Navasana, and then into bridge. So if you're feeling a bit weary and a bit tired, you can come into a very supported Navasana. So taking your hands behind your thighs, drawing up through the spine, drawing the shoulders back, and that's a beautiful supported Navasana. If you've still got a little bit of energy left, you can take your hands to the side and come into an intermediate Navasana. And for those of you, especially my group, who are super, super strong, you can come into full Navasana. Drawing that chest up and forward, hands to the side. And slowly, slowly release down. Oh, we've got one more posture before we come into Shavasana. No, we've got two. So let's come into bridge. So drawing the heels into the bottom, feet facing the front of the mat, heels and feet hip width apart. Arms start long down the side of your body. Just protect your chin and neck, your neck, So whilst you're in this posture, keep your gaze up towards the ceiling. Don't be twisting your head. That's not what we want to do in this posture. And then slowly inhale. As we inhale, we press down through the feet and draw that pelvis up to the ceiling. Slowly peeling the spine off the ground, pressing down and lifting up and breathing. And slowly, slowly, slowly release. And yeah, we'll do that again, but this time we'll just modify it for those who want to. So slowly press down and maybe just tuck the heels of the hands underneath the hips, or grab hold of your ankles, or maybe interlace your fingers underneath your bottom, drawing those shoulders really underneath you, and just extend into your bridge posture. And slowly, slowly release. And then always in yoga, we'll end on an inversion. So we'll do headstand next time, but this time we'll do shoulder stand. So slowly, slowly. Be careful for those of you who've got neck issues. You may want to give this a miss and just do another bridge posture. But those of you who are happy to come into shoulder stand, just take the feet in the air. Again, just look up to the feet. Keep your neck nice and square. Maybe drop that right foot behind you. And the left foot. And if you want to, both feet can sink down into plough, interlace the fingers, and relax and breathe. And then slowly roll down with grace. Using those abdominal muscles. Take both feet to the bottom corners of the mat. Arms 40 degrees from your body. Palms of the hands facing the ceiling. I won't spend the whole of the 5 minutes with you, but maybe use a blanket to cover yourself up, keep yourself warm. Put some beautiful music on. Doesn't have to be yoga music, it can be anything you want. And have 5 minutes to allow your body and mind to absorb all the strength, the nourishment and the positivity of your practice, to make you stronger both in mind and body, and to be able to give back a bit of what you've created back to the universe, back to mankind. Namaste everybody.